What if tomorrow when you woke up, your bank app didn't load, your card didn't swipe, your balance read zero? Not because you were hacked, but because the system itself simply stopped existing. Sounds impossible, right? But here is the darker truth. The global financial system, the one that powers every tap, every paycheck, every available balance, is already vanishing, piece by piece. And the bankers, they've prepared for it. You haven't. Right now, in the quiet backrooms of central banks and fintech labs, the world's financial elite are building something extraordinary, a replacement for traditional banking that looks like liberation, but feels like control. What if I told you that banks disappearing isn't a collapse, it's a transition, one designed to erase debt, privacy, and autonomy in one calculated move? So tonight, we're pulling the curtain back on what happens when the banks vanish. Because they will, and when they do, the world you know won't be replaced with freedom. It'll be replaced with surveillance, programmable money, and digital obedience. Before we go deeper, tell me in the comments, where are you watching from? Because this affects every corner of the world, from New York to Nairobi. And if you're new here, make sure to subscribe for the unfiltered truth, because this is the story your bank and your government will never tell you. In the official story, banks are pillars of stability, guardians of savings, engines of economic growth. They lend, we borrow. They invest, we trust. It's the backbone of modern civilization. But beneath that elegant illusion lies something ancient, a system built on debt, not money. To understand what happens when banks vanish, we need to understand how they truly exist. Because, ironically, they already don't. Every dollar you think you have in your account, it's not there. It's a digital promise, an IOU backed by a fractional reserve that's been shrinking for decades. Sound familiar? The gold-backed dollar vanished in 1971 when Nixon closed the gold window. The full Reserve Bank quietly disappeared in the 1990s as leverage ballooned. And in 2020, during the pandemic panic, the Federal Reserve dropped reserve requirements to zero. Zero, that means banks don't need to hold your money anymore. They just promise it exists. Sound familiar again? Because we've seen this before. In 1929, banks overextended until a single tremor brought the house down. In 2008, the subprime collapse exposed how too big to fail really meant too big to jail. And today, in 2025, the world is teetering on a new edge, one where the banks won't collapse. They'll dissolve, quietly, digitally, and the new system will be sold as progress. The death of the bank branch isn't an accident, it's a signal. Look around, ATMs closing, cashless stores rising, apps like Apple Pay and PayPal absorbing millions of users. What used to be a relationship between you and your local bank manager is now a data stream controlled by algorithms, policy, and invisible code. In 1999, 70% of Americans visited a physical bank every month. Today, less than 10% do, and yet, the total volume of money moving through digital networks has exploded beyond comprehension, trillions per day, in invisible transactions across shadow markets. Sound familiar yet? Every major shift in history has followed the same rhythm. Crisis gives consolidation, gives control. After 1929 came the New Deal and centralized monetary power. After 2008 came quantitative easing and central bank dominance. And after the next crisis, one already in motion, will come something called CBDCs, central bank digital currencies, the final stage in a long, deliberate erasure of traditional banking. You won't believe the name of the mechanism that makes this possible. It's called the digital settlement layer. The digital settlement layer is not a sci-fi concept, it's real. It's the backbone of a new world where banks are no longer intermediaries. Instead, your money exists directly inside the central bank's database. No commercial bank middleman, no credit risk, no privacy. Think about that. For the first time in modern history, central banks, the Federal Reserve, the European Central Bank, the People's Bank of China, will hold retail accounts, not through Chase or HSBC or Wells Fargo, but directly. The bank, as you know it, vanishes. And in its place, code, policy, and programmable money. The receipt is wilder than you think. Here's the shocking part. This shift began not in 2020, but in 2009, the year Bitcoin was born. The rise of decentralized finance terrified global central planners. They saw the potential and the threat. So, instead of banning it, they copied it. CBDCs are the elite's answer to crypto, a digital currency that promises convenience while removing autonomy. In this new architecture, your wallet is tied to your ID, your transaction history, even your carbon score. Every purchase, every payment is traceable and controllable. Picture this: you're at a gas station, you tap your card, decline, not because you're broke, but because your monthly carbon quota has been reached. Or imagine your digital dollars expiring after 90 days to stimulate spending. This isn't science fiction. It's a tested feature of China's digital yuan, and prototypes are being quietly developed by over 130 central banks worldwide. Let's follow the money. The Bank for International Settlements, the BIS, known as the Central Bank of Central Banks, published in 2023 that 93% of the world's economies are exploring CBDCs. That's 128 countries. In the US, Project Hamilton. In the EU, the digital euro. In Nigeria, the era. In India, the digital rupee. All share one feature: programmability. That means your money isn't yours, it's conditional. Remember 2008, $700 billion in bailouts for the same institutions that caused the collapse. Remember 2020, $5 trillion printed to save the economy. Every cycle ends with the same solution: more control, less freedom. But this time, the system won't need to save banks, because they no longer exist. The central banks become the banks, and here's where the numbers get chilling. Today, global debt exceeds $315 trillion, 4 times the world's GDP. Private banks can't absorb that. The only way to reset the system is to delete intermediaries and move liabilities directly onto central balance sheets. It's financial euthanasia, disguised as modernization. In 2022 alone, over 3,000 bank branches closed in the US between 2019 and 2025. That number rose past 10,000 globally. Citigroup exited 13 markets. HSBC retreated from retail banking entirely in the US. JP Morgan, they're investing billions in digital transition frameworks. Translation: preparing for the day physical banking becomes obsolete. This is not collapse, it's migration. Let's peel another layer. When you deposit $1, the bank is allowed to lend $9. That's fractional reserve banking, the illusion of liquidity. But under a CBDC, there is no lending multiplier. Every dollar is issued by central authority. That means no credit creation by private institutions, no competition, just compliance. The elites call it monetary simplification, but make no mistake, it's a power grab unlike any in history. Imagine a world where your money can be frozen, redirected, or erased with a line of code. The same line of code that decides whether your mortgage gets approved or your political donation gets flagged. The illusion of choice will be replaced by the reality of permission. Let's pause on that word, permission, because money is only power when it's permissionless. Bitcoin, gold, even cash, they're dangerous to those in charge because they operate outside the system. The death of banks, then, isn't an accident. It's a design to eliminate permissionless finance once and for all. When the banks vanish, the illusion of independence vanishes too. You'll still see numbers on your screen, but they'll represent access, not ownership. And here's the cruelest twist. The same people telling you this is progress are the ones who built the crises that made it necessary. Let's connect the dots. 2008, subprime collapse. The elites used fear to centralize control through quantitative easing. 2020 pandemic panic. They used chaos to accelerate digitization. The next crisis, likely triggered by debt implosion or cyber-attack, will be the perfect excuse to reset the financial map. It's called the Great Consolidation. The IMF has used the term in closed-door meetings. The plan is simple: replace hundreds of commercial banks with one network, monitored, programmable, global. You believed the timing: 2030. The same year the World Economic Forum's agenda predicts the end of private ownership. Coincidence or choreography? So what happens when banks vanish? First, credit disappears temporarily. Mortgages, loans, and small business financing evaporate as the private sector's ability to create money dies. Then comes the transition stimulus, trillions in new digital credits distributed directly from central banks. They'll call it universal basic income. You'll call it survival. Next, the economy recovers artificially. Inflation spikes, control deepens. Citizens are onboarded into national digital wallets tied to biometric IDs. Every transaction becomes data. Every pattern becomes a score. Every deviation becomes suspicious. And by then, no one will call it banking anymore. By 2035, 90% of currency circulation will exist only in digital form. Paper money will be nostalgic, a relic. The last ATM will become a museum exhibit, and we'll say it happened slowly, then all at once. Here's a number few talk about. In 2023, over $18 trillion moved through the shadow payment system, platforms like Swift, RippleNet, and FedNow, most of it untraceable to individual origin. When the new layer fully activates, every one of those transactions will be visible. Transparency for them, total surveillance for you. It's elegant, really. The system collapses under its own debt. The people panic. The state steps in with salvation, digital, efficient, free. But behind the glow of innovation lies the oldest trade in history, freedom for security. The big reveal. The death of banks is not the end of corruption, it's the upgrade. The system isn't dying, it's evolving into something far more dangerous. Total financial centralization. And when it's complete, there will be no cash to withdraw, no mattress to hide it under, no offshore account to escape to. Just one global ledger, one network, one permission switch. So here's the final warning. When banks vanish, you won't notice it at first. Your app will still work, your balance will still glow, but the rules beneath it will have changed forever. Every purchase will whisper compliance, every dollar will carry memory, and every free transaction will come with an invisible cost. Your autonomy. The modern system is faster, global, seductive, but it's still built on borrowed time. Every empire built on debt ends the same way, quietly, digitally, and without a single shot fired. So, as the world races toward its cashless future, ask yourself, are we wiser now, or just walking the same path in better suits? If you're still here, you're part of the few who question. Share this video before it disappears into the algorithm. Comment where you're watching from, and subscribe to Dark Finance for more truths they'll never show on television. Because when the banks vanish, the real economy begins.